Okay, I have a question. Or do you want to go? Do you have a
No.
question?
Mm-mm. Go
This
ahead.
is like something I thought about was in the bathtub. Because I was like working on going into the psychic workshop from Third Eye Activation
Oh,
on their
yeah.
website,
Uh-huh.
and like in that training, it's supposed to be teaching us, I think it's to go to Theta Brainwave. Pretty sure it says it in there, but um, and so like you do like the training, you remember all this. Like you do all the trainings and you go down into the workshop. But I'm just, and then it's like, then you learn to just like pop into the workshop. And I'm like, am I really just popping into Theta Brainwave when I pop into the workshop? I think you know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Like if it's been a long time since I've done the full training, but I think the quantum healing training that we did is also, it's like the same. It's doing the
Mm-hmm.
same type of
Mm-hmm.
thing. But it's like, can you really just flick it on like that? You know what I mean? Like if you've trained yourself long enough, like can you just because flick it on? Because I think part of it is like, well, you're accessing deeper information. What I'm really trying to get at is like, I want to try to train my subconscious to make me skinnier.
There's
This
the
is
angle.
there's the angle. I'm
I
like,
like that.
so one of the things you do in the workshop is you envision, like, even one of the activities was like you go erase like if you don't like there's a blemish, like I have a giant scar on my chest, like I would erase it in the workshop. I would see my body and then I would like kind of erase it. I've not been diligent about that, but so they're kind of like you can go in there and you can like clean up the earth and you can do all these different things. But I thought, but I think I'm getting techniques mixed up actually. It's like, I don't know that that's actually working on your subconscious and theta brainwave or in the, you know what I mean? Like it's working at the energetic level.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I have two different questions. The first one is like, can you just flick yourself in a theta brainwave that quickly?
Um,
Comma, once you've trained yourself, period.
right. They're kind of like not really, but what you are training yourself to do is almost like to calm everything and to tap into the frequency that exists around that wave. So it's like you teach yourself the shortcut to get to the sense of like being in the bubble, being calm, being
Mm,
focused, disconnecting from the creation of thought and moving into the reception of information. Uh,
yeah, see, that's it, right? Like that's what I was just thinking. It's like that is putting you in the receptive state to
mm-hmm.
get information, which is not the same thing as like changing your subconscious.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, essentially, there's kind of they're showing it. It's like the grooves that we've talked about before, which we should probably talk about again at some point. But, or if you imagine like your brain as a highway, it's just like you're moving into a different lane. Like
Mm,
you're aligning yourself with that energy in that lane of traffic instead of the active lane that you would sit in when you're fully engaged in creating thought. But um, like the difference is if you were to use like the BQH script and actually like allow yourself the time to like deregulate and slowly like almost go down the steps, like lowering yourself down the waves, then you would actually get to a place where you could start playing with the rewriting.
okay, that
Like you're
makes
just doing a
sense.
shortcut right now.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad
Yeah,
thing.
but I think this is helpful for our training, whisper
Mm-hmm.
training, like
Mm-hmm.
just even an understanding of like so we've like gone from doing the long script to then shortening it and just being like bubble bubble bubble. And that's to get the information. So like when we're channeling or whatever, the shortcut works to get the information. True or false, don't you think?
Yes, and the shortcut works because we did all of the practice the long way of getting there. So, like using the highway analogy again, it would be like an interstate system where you've got to take an off ramp and you take the big loop around, and then eventually you find yourself, on the freeway that you want to be on. That's what we did with all the BQH training. We started
Hmm.
like feeling what that off ramp felt like, and now we're just able to be like, okay, I'm not going to take the off ramp. I'm just boom, I'm moving over into that lane. I'm getting
So
on
then
that
what,
interstate.
right. So then what they're saying is like with this like hypnotherapy and all of that stuff to like affect a new subconscious pattern, you would kind of need to do something that like actually still takes you the long way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because what
I
it
mean, I don't
feels
know.
like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. We should play with it. You're reminding me that I have a hypnotherapy training that I bought a couple years
Well,
ago that I
maybe
still
it's time to crack that bitch
haven't
out
done
and do
yet.
it.
Um, but what the thing with we'll just say the long way to get there is that it relaxes the mind. It takes the conscious mind out of the equation, where what we've trained ourselves to do is to distinguish between the frequencies and the information. So we know what it sounds like when our minds are active and giving us information, or what it feels like, or what it looks like. And we know what it feels like, looks like, sounds like when that information is being downloaded, coming from our higher selves or the collective or whatever. So our mind is still active. It gets still accessible in those states. And it's like we've taught ourselves how to allow both channels to coexist.
Okay,
So
so like that totally makes sense because to do the hypnotherapy or to like do the subconscious programming or reprogramming or whatever, you need the conscious mind out of the way. But in the channeling, like it's not, we're not even dealing with the subconscious mind at all.
mm-mm,
It's the
no.
conscious mind and then like the higher information coming
Yeah,
down.
correct.
Oh, that makes
Correct.
sense.
That was a
Okay.
really good question. Holy cow. And thanks for
Bathtub wonderings.
that could be another
Is that a
podcast.
word? I don't even know if that's a word.
Bathtub wanderings.
Is wanderings
Wanderings.
is
Wandering.
wanderings
Wander.
a word? Like
Yeah.
wander is like, yeah, it
Wander.
could be the
Yeah.
wanderings. Yeah, like you're okay, that was right.
Remember the
I
old
guess that,
license plate in Indiana? It was Wander,
yes, I do.
Indiana.
Oh my God, those were the best though.
They
The pretty
were.
sunset.
Yeah, I like
I
that
miss
license
that.
plate a lot. Should bring it back.
They
We
should
should
bring it
make
back. It was so pretty.
we should make Indiana great again with the Wander Indiana
Ugh.
license plate.
Yeah, we should. We really should. They're so
Look,
cute.
I'm gonna write down hypnotherapy training.
Oh yeah, don't forget. Oh my God, then we can just do hypnotherapy and lose our menopausal middle
Yeah,
somehow.
fucking middle.
Well, I feel pretty good on my HRT.
Oh yeah. How's that
I'm less
going?
rage. Pretty good. I'm not even to a month yet, but I mean, bloated. The bloating's getting better. The sore boobs are sore. It's fine. Um, I I think the stuff is supposed to taper off after a few months. Like you just get used to it, so you're not
Mm.
so bloated and so sore. But I've definitely had bad digestion the last couple of days. But let's not talk about me. What are you? What's going on with you?
What is going on with me? Oh my God, I like was all right. I need to know. I need to know. I have this question because it appears that whatever illness that I contracted, either going to or in Mexico, which seemed to have all the indications of the flu, it was congestion, runny nose, sneezing, coughing, body aches, chills, fever. No digestion issues. I did not have a sore throat or a headache. Those were the only two things that were missing. Although my head did kind of get a little sore, but I think that might have been dehydration. Anyway, that feels like it lasted a solid week. No, it lasted a solid 4 days, and then it like lingered for what feels like anywhere between a week to 2 weeks. I think at some point it morphed into a cold. I don't really know, but it's still hanging around. And this, I keep feeling like I'm getting better, but then like this morning I got up And I did my normal stuff. And then I laid down on the fucking couch and fell asleep. What is going on? I haven't worked out in a week. I'm so tired.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna really try to clear myself out for this then. Okay,
If other people didn't have this, I would think I might be dying.
right. Um, okay, well, they want to ask the question, or it's almost like which question do you want to ask first, which is like what is going on or what happened? Seem to be two different questions.
Ooh, well, let's start with what happened.
Okay, well, like they're just saying it's like a virus. You contracted it on the plane. Um,
I knew it. I saw when I got on that plane, I was like, I should be wearing a mask.
yeah, yeah. I don't know if that would have helped. I mean, not to say they're not saying masks don't help, but they're kind of saying this was more of like a you were going to contract it anyway, like
Hmm.
because this is something you needed actually. So, well, they just want to point out that you're not very good at slowing down.
No, geniuses, I'm not.
They're like, um, like it's God, this is like this is gonna be hard, I think. It's partially like listening to your body in general. Um, like it's like well, it's like you had all these months where you were trying or supposed to be trying to clear the energy of the hurricane experience and the trauma around that. And like it's like you were putting it off or something because maybe like there was a fear around like you almost felt bonded to the people you had the experience with. And like part of you felt like if you clear it, whereas the other person is really not even to acknowledge that there is trauma, they're not gonna like that means which means they're not gonna be clearing it. Like it would further divide you.
I also had, I think I briefly had the thought at one point around all of this too, that like, what if I clear it and then it's almost like waking up out of it and being like, oh my God, like, why am I back in Indianapolis? WTF?
Yeah, like yes, there's like a fear around clearing it. So and this came up and then when we asked about this illness the other day, which was like you did the clearing because you got sick
Mm, mm-hmm.
in Mexico. So it's like your body forced it out of you, the trauma out of you. Um, so like that's the real reason why the illness in the first place and why it's been so much. Like it's been so hard and so long. Um, but it's also they're like there's like so many levels because it's also like actually it actually was a virus too, like not just an illness. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
on the physical level. So basically they're kind of saying like yeah, you were like afraid of what was going to be on the other side of clearing the trauma.
I could see that.
Yeah, like you just I mean you said it exactly. Like you went into like a oh, did I just go into some weird haze because of it? But it was like but they're already like you were already not in alignment with being in Nashville anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So like this just added to it. So like they're just like you're getting all the signs and seeing all of the support that is there for you in Indiana. And so they're like you're seeing all of that. So like just trust in that. Um there's something about how like you this is like more of a general thing that you do, which is like the what if I'm supposed to sentence. They're
Yeah.
like big red X. Like, because like they're showing how like this is really interesting. Oh my God. This is and they're also being like this is such a good thing for a lot of people to hear or for people to hear because a lot of people are doing this too. It's like the signs are being presented. The universe or whatever you want to call it is showing you the way. The alignment, we can feel and learn to feel where the alignment is. You're feeling where the alignment is. Based, you're like seeing these external things like how easy it is for you to get breath work on the schedule. And like the things you've said, like you have your friends here. It's just like things are easier. It feels like your people, all your people, when you met people that were the coolest people in Asheville, they were always from the Midwest. Like there's like, they're like, you're seeing these tangible signs and things that are actually happening. And when anyone goes into what if I'm supposed to, that there's nothing. They're like, this is like a blank, this is like a blank wall. It's like what like this is I'm sorry, this is hard to explain. They're basically up there going like, where is she getting that idea?
Right. I was just, and this is a big aha that I had probably right before Mexico, right before I left. So, right before I got sick, I had this realization that, and I think I told you about this, it was based on the dreams that I kept having about dying, which, by the way, I forgot I had another dream about dying when I first got to Mexico that I think I forgot to tell you about. Yeah. But it was like the dreams weren't, it wasn't actually about dying. It was about letting go. Like in all of them, I just had to let go.
Mm-hmm.
Remind me to tell you about the dream that I had in Mexico because it's important. I cannot believe I forgot to tell you. It's because I got sick. Anyway, and what I realized was that these dreams had been telling me this whole time is like I need to let go of this feeling or assumption that things are supposed to be a certain way. That if you let go, now granted, this is what everyone says, right? Like the suffering
Yeah,
is in the resistance
just
and in the
fucking let
hanging on.
go.
And you're like, I don't understand what you're talking about. But it literally is the like letting go of the it should be this way or what if it should be this way. It's nothing more than it is what it is. It's a blank wall because it is whatever it is. At any
Well,
moment, it is unfolding.
they're saying like there is no supposed to.
Right. It just is.
Like it is, but it's like this is really interesting. I feel like okay. So you know how you're really obsessed about the Indigo Girls after the Barbie movie?
Right. Yeah.
Closer to Fine. I fucking love that song so much. And one of them has my card for Six of Clubs. Like she's speaking to my soul. That song is so deep. And then I was actually just listening to them today, and then I was listening to the song they have called Galileo. And
Oh,
like
yeah.
I was obsessed with this shit in high school. And now I go back and listen to the lyrics, and I'm like, oh, it's about how many lifetimes do I have to go through for my soul to get it right?
Mm-hmm.
Was not conscious of fucking lifetimes when I was in high school, by the way.
So good.
But this is coming to, but then also I was watching 100 Years of Solitude, which I did a paper on probably in college or something. And there's a lot of like, this lady's a tarot card reader in there. It's all about like your perspective of how you see the story is like, says a lot about you. And it's like, oh, there's a guy that is writing the story. It's like meta. He's writing the story of the story, and he's writing it in Sanskrit. It's like all this stuff. So I'm like, there are pieces, and they're saying signs leading you, but like I think that's confusing because how like if there's no supposed to, then why are the signs leading you a certain direction? You know what I mean?
Yes, but I feel like it's based on the experience that the soul wants to have. So the
Right.
soul doesn't necessarily dictate it, but the signs are like the reminders of the breadcrumbs, kind of like in Hansel and Gretel, like this is the way home.
Oh.
You don't have to pick them up. You don't have to go home, but if you're ready to go home, here's the way back home.
Yeah, and like, and it is aligning with the cards, and the cards saying like, oh, this is like your soul does have a purpose here, and it's not as specific as we think it should be, but it is, there is a purpose, and there is like a theme that your card has that, and like astrology, the same thing, numerology, all that, but then I still feel like they're saying like when you say I'm supposed to blah, that's not correct. Like how, I'm still blown, like mind blown. Like how is that? You know what I
Maybe
mean?
maybe they just don't like supposed to because it seems to take out the other alternatives.
Well, it like also narrows the path. Because remember
It
how many
does.
times they're like not supposed to want to? Ah, I mean, I'm getting a feeling for this. Let me say what I think, but you also put your channel on, turn the channel tab on. So what I'm feeling is like the alignment. Okay, the energy of supposed to is like you're missing something or you're doing something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But we're here just for experiences.
Mm-hmm. There's no wrong
And your
experience.
soul had sort of like a plan when it came in. But you can't, like, I mean, we say you get off track, but it's not really off track because it's just an experience. So I
Mm-hmm.
think you're right in the it's like nitpicky, but the supposed to energy is like you're fucking it up. It's a
Right.
judgment
Right.
versus like go toward the thing that just lights you up. And I'm telling you, the song Closer to Fine just like lights me up. Love it so much. Almost, I almost stood up out of my chair in the movie. Was like, what? This is the perfect song for this scene. Oh my God. Um, Someone over here in the movies from our generation playing
Yeah.
that song.
Totes.
So yeah, that's kind of what I was feeling is like the supposed to is a judgment. And it's telling yourself you think you're off track. But what the direction is, but what do you want? Because when your soul gets into alignment, when you get into alignment with what your soul was trying to put together for this lifetime, what you want sends you on the right direction. Or the right direction is not the right word either, but sends you on the
A
path that you
right.
laid
A
out for
fulfilling
yourself.
path.
Yeah.
This is all very interesting, given what like the experience in Mexico, because the like the things that I kept hearing in my head were like I needed to actively participate in setting the pace, and like I might need to create a boundary around like no, I don't want to go walk the city today. I want to just like chill out and do this other thing. Healthy me though, of course, is going to agree to go walk the city.
Yeah, because you like adventure.
Exactly. But sick me might not. Sick me might have to draw some lines. So it's almost like the illness was bringing forward the need to sort of do the gut check that I wasn't doing on my
Like
own,
it's
or like
forcing you. Yeah.
yeah, establishing some like boundaries or like pulling back. Anyway, I get what you're saying. That was good.
Well, now there was,
The second question is what like why is it still happening? Now
oh,
like
that
now
was
what?
right. Now what?
Can it go away?
No. It, they're like you're under, I like this word, you're misunderestimating how traumatic the experience with the hurricane was.
Ugh.
So they're not saying no, it's not going to go away. They're saying of course it's going to go away, but like if you need to sleep on the couch, you need to sleep on the couch, and they're also like you need to carry this forward in your like they're like the sickness is going away. Like you're pretty much out of it, but the desire to maybe take a nap and lay on the couch may never like it may come back from time to time because you need to be paying more attention to what your body's asking from you instead of
That's true.
like writing over it with
That's true.
I must work out, I must get a walk in, I must do this. Like it's like you kind of need more rest. They're reminding me of Jade's menopause training, whatever the fuck it's called,
Mm-hmm.
where he's like, every day between 1 and 4, you need to lay down and take a 20-minute nap, like as if people don't have jobs. But the point is there. It's like his whole thing is trying to lower cortisol, whether it's correct science or not, I have no idea. But he's like, they're like, you're not running on cortisol like most people are anymore. You used to, but not anymore. But they're just like, you're powering through because you're an Aquarius with so much Capricorn in your chart. You're just powering through the day.
It's true.
And they're like, they want you, they said no at first because they just want you to be aware that like, if you don't start taking more care of yourself regularly, you are going to start getting sick on a regular basis.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's like a little bit of like harsh reality where they're just like, yeah, you're still fucking sick. First of all, that was really traumatic. And second of all, take a fucking nap from time to time.
Right. It is also influencing, I've noticed it influencing how I lead the breathwork classes that I've been leading. Because I'm like, oh,
Interesting.
people are probably fucking exhausted.
Yeah.
Whereas before it would have been like, all right, let's do this. Like, let's dig in. Like, let's look at this. And now I'm just like, you know what? Like, we're just going to take it easy in this class. They're still having beautiful experiences. They're still getting wherever they needed to go to. I'm just not pushing them like I would have pushed myself.
Well, right. And that's good too, because they're like, you'll start to get into a rhythm where you sense what is needed before the class starts.
Yeah.
Why am I getting a thumbs up by, never mind. And like, so you can tailor it for each, like it'll be different for different classes. And you'll be like, oh, this one, they're ready to go. And this one, no, they're not ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true.
Yeah. So, okay. Any other questions with that?
I don't think so. I'll just write it out. Whatever.
Yeah. They're just like, take care of yourself. They're like, you could do a thing in the mornings when you get up. And they're like, then they're going back on themselves because they're just like that. They really want both of us to flow more throughout the day. They're like, they want everyone to do this, but they understand jobs, kids, all that stuff. But like in an ideal world, because this came up one time, you were doing a reading for me, and I was like, I was like, should I work out today? I made you do a reading on it. But their answer was so good. Because their answer was like, not right now. Or I was maybe even asking, should I work out right now? And they're like, not right now, but maybe later in the day you might have more energy. But like we get up in the morning and we're like, I'm working out.
I'm gonna cross this off my list.
I'm gonna cross this off my list. And they're like, people.
No, girl, you're
Stop.
not gonna cross
Like
it off.
literally, they're like, crossing something off a list is so young. It's so masculine energy.
It's true.
Like, so they're just like, the flow would be, I have an idea of some things I want to get done today, and I'm okay if I don't get them done and I end up fucking laying on the couch. Remember how Jim and Jill used to be like, if you need to lay on the couch and eat a bag of potato chips for 3 days straight, just do it.
Yeah. Well, you would be very proud of me then, because this morning I was like, maybe I'll work out today. And then I was like, no, I'm too tired. So I was like, I'm too tired to even sit here and meditate. Like, I don't even have the energy to do that. So I did the bare minimum of the things that I was going to do. And then I was like, I made my breakfast, I ate, and then I was like, oh shit, I'm so tired. So I put on a podcast, one that I didn't care if I fell asleep to, and I let myself lay down on the couch. And I sort of drifted in and out of a little bit of a sleep. I know. And then my phone rang. I had a conversation, like, just talked on the phone for a little bit. And then I was like, okay, I could do the work for this other business that I have, but that feels like it takes too much brain power because it's financial stuff. So I can't do that. What could I do today? Should I do anything? And I was like, oh, like, yeah, you could edit the podcast that we put together the other day, because all you really have to do is listen, and you have the energy to listen.
Yeah.
And so I did that, and then I wrote the blog, and then like I checked all these other things off the list because they were just all in the flow of where I was. And I was like, wow, I accomplished a whole lot more than I would have ever dreamt I would have been able to accomplish when I had to lay down on the couch.
Yeah, right. And this is just, I mean, they just had a study come out about this, about how much more productive people are when they take a nap in the middle of the day. Like
I'm
there's a
so
productivity,
opposed
like
to
it
napping.
increases productivity. So they're just like, and what I've noticed for myself is it's not even about falling asleep. I had to lay down today and I need to start getting more into the rhythm of it. But I just lay down, put my silk eye mask on, and I lay there and I kind of don't even sleep. It's like usually when I put a timer on, it's 14 minutes around there. And then all of a sudden I just sigh really deeply. And then I get up and I feel 150 times better. But they're saying that
Interesting.
like the science, there's also a science study out there somewhere that says that like 20 minutes of dark quiet is actually more powerful than like trying to meditate.
Okay. All right. Well, I
So it's
mean,
not about sleeping actually,
right. It's just about,
although that's
it's
not bad for
probably
you either,
about
but
relaxing the input,
yeah.
shutting off the input.
Hmm.
I mean, that's what Lee Harris said, right? The slow is the new fast.
Yes, right.
I mean, if I would have made a list of the things that I ended up accomplishing, like made the list and said, these are things I have to accomplish today, there's a part of me that feels like I wouldn't have been able to pull it off.
Right.
But because I was just like, whatever happens today happens. Whatever I have the energy to do is what I have the energy to do. And I was fully prepared to do nothing.
Yeah, and that's what, and they're kind of like what I'm feeling too is like they're kind of saying like this will go, it's like it'll go through cycles. There'll be sometimes when you're just tired and you can't, and then other times when you get so you're like so energized, and they're just like that's what they're trying to
I think there's a
get
term for
us
it
to
called
understand.
manic.
That's just the high. Yeah, it's like you just it's like that's in being in the flow. It's like I have a lot of energy, I don't have a lot of energy. I'm not working out 7 days a week because they say you're supposed to.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
right.
Like that's what you don't want to be doing to yourself. Yeah, if only we could learn to master all of this. Goals.
Hashtag goals.
That wraps this episode of One Card Shy. Did you love it? Leave us a review, share it with your friends, and sign up for our monthly crown straightener. Bonus, you'll get our free Claim Your Crown guide when you subscribe.
And be sure to find us on Instagram and check out our website. Both are rainworld.co. All the links are below. See you next time, Queens.